What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we're going to talk some head coaches. We know that a former player, Aaron Glenn, is getting head coaching interest around the league, but there's another former Jet that is also apparently getting interest. We're going to get into it. As I mentioned, Aaron Glenn is a very popular name being discussed right now due to the job that he's done as the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Now, he is not the only candidate that is a former New York Jet. Rex Ryan, technically, right? Because he was the head coach of the Jets from 2009 through 2014. But there is another former player that is looking to get their hat in the ring in NFL coaching circles. And that, according to Adam Schefter, is Anthony Becht. Former NFL tight end Anthony Becht, the current St. Louis Battlehawks head coach, has interviewed for the West Virginia head coaching position. Becht also has received inquiries about coaching at the NFL level. Now, who is Anthony Becht? There might be some youngins around here who don't remember the Anthony Becht era, and that makes me feel old, but he was a part of one of my favorite Jets draft classes of all time, the 2000 draft class, which the Jets had 4 first-round picks. Anthony Becht was one of those first-round picks. They also drafted Sean Ellis, one of my favorite Jets of all time. His jersey is signed and hanging up over here. Chad Pennington, John Abraham, and Lavernius Coles also came out of that draft class. He's an 11-year veteran at the NFL level. He played tight end in the NFL, had 5 seasons with the New York Jets from 2000 through the 2005 season. He was okay. He wasn't a great tight end. He never put up like monster numbers in receiving yards. He did have 5 receiving touchdowns a couple of times. So I guess more of your red zone guy. But for his term, as far as it goes with his head coaching experience, he's coached the Battlehawks the last 2 seasons in the XFL / UFL, whatever you want to call it, the last 2 years. They're 14-6 over that time, 7-3 and 7-3 in back-to-back seasons. He lost to the San Antonio Brahmas in the conference championship game this year, if that means anything to you. But that's essentially his head coaching experience. At the only other level he's coached at, remember the AAF in 2019? He was a tight ends coach for one of those teams in 2019 or 2020. That's it. He has not coached at the NFL level or the college level yet. With all due respect to Anthony Becht, and I don't want this to come off as overly harsh towards Anthony because he very well could be a good coach. Seems like a nice guy. For the love of God, please no. Please no. Woody Johnson, Brick Johnson, 33rd team, if you're watching this, why? My question would be why? You can't find a better candidate than someone who has 1 year as a tight end coach and then 2 years as a head coach for a XFL, UFL league, hasn't coached at the collegiate level, hasn't coached in the NFL. It's kind of like in the broadcasting game. He usually does a lot of Jets games, like especially in the preseason. He's on the Jets YouTube channel all the time. He's been around the team a lot. He very well could know the game well, know the players well. I have stated before that I don't really want to go down the first-time head coaching route. If the Jets do, I would rather it be someone with a little bit more experience, like a Todd Monken, who's been an offensive coordinator and a successful one at many different stops in the NFL, and also at least was a head coach at the collegiate level. Anthony Becht has never done that. He hasn't coached in college. He hasn't even been a tight ends coach or anything of that nature in the NFL. Like, Dan Campbell started out right as a tight ends coach, and maybe you get people go, well, Dan Campbell is a tight ends coach. Why can't Anthony Becht? Well, he did it in the NFL level at least. Does that not matter? To have some sort of experience in the NFL, like you're gonna pick your next head coach in a very pivotal hire, and you're going to grab him out of the UFL or XFL. It doesn't make any sense. I really hope the Jets aren't seriously considering hiring Anthony Becht. I get it. He's a former Jet. People and fans usually love the former player coming back to coach the team or be involved in the team thing. It's worked in some places. But like D'Amico Ryans is maybe a good example of that. But he at least, again, was a successful defensive coordinator at the NFL level before getting hired as a head coach. This just feels like he hasn't really paid his dues yet coaching to get that kind of interest. I get it. He's 47 years old, been out of the game for a little while now. But to me, this is not enough experience. I don't want to hire a coach with this little amount of coaching experience, frankly, at any level. We're not talking just, he was a tight ends coach for a year in the NFL and then got a job. No, we're talking about 1 year in the AAF and then a couple years as head coach in the UFL. What are we doing? I don't know. I don't think this one makes any sense for the New York Jets. Let me know what you think. Do you consider Anthony Becht a real candidate? Would you consider Anthony Becht being the New York Jets head coach? Let me know. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.